All right, friends, welcome back. Now, I've got something to say, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Keir Starmer, yes, our esteemed Prime Minister, the man with the charisma of a damp dishcloth, has apparently decided he fancies himself as Britain's leader for the next decade. 10 years. Can you imagine? That's longer than it takes to get a plumber in London. And if this happens, I've got a simple request. Will the last person to leave Britain please turn out the lights, because trust me, there won't be much left to illuminate. Now, let's get this straight. Keir Starmer, the man who looks like he's perpetually auditioning for the role of concerned headmaster, thinks he's got the vision to steer this country for 10 whole years. 10 years of what exactly? More of this dreary, sanctimonious lectures, more policies that sound like they were scribbled on the back of a napkin in a Westminster pub. This is a man who couldn't inspire a spark in a firework factory, and yet he's got his sights set on a decade of running the show. Heaven help us. So what's the plan, Keir? Turn Britain into a giant open plan office where everyone's too afraid to speak in case they offended the woke police? Or maybe you'll just keep taxing us until we're all living in cardboard boxes, saluting the net zero gods while we freeze? Because, let's be honest, under your watch the country's already starting to feel like a badly run community centre. Crumbling infrastructure, endless rules, and a faint whiff of despair in the air. A decade of this? I'd rather spend 10 years locked in a room with a vegan activist than a PowerPoint presentation on quinoa. And don't get me started on the state of things. Our streets are less safe than a dodgy kebab van. Our borders are about as secure as a paper bag in a hurricane. And the NHS is creaking like my knees after a long walk. Yet here comes Keir, bold as brass, saying, "Give me 10 years and I'll fix it." Fix what, mate? The only thing you fixed so far is your tie for the cameras. Meanwhile, the rest of us are watching businesses shut, taxes soar, and free speech get frog-marched out the back door by your thought police. You know what's really galling, though? It's the sheer arrogance of it. 10 years. He's not even been in the job long enough to wear out a pair of shoes, and he's already planning his victory lap in 2035. This is the kind of hubris you'd expect from a Roman emperor. Not a bloke who looks like he'd struggle to order a coffee without apologising. And what's his grand vision exactly? More of the same, apparently. More bureaucracy, more red tape, more of that patronising, "we're all in this together" nonsense, while the country staggers like a drunk looking for a kebab shop at 3 a.m. So here's the deal, Keir. If you're planning to cling to power for a decade, you better have something more to offer than recycled platitudes and a face that says, "I'm disappointed in you," because right now Britain's on life support, and you're not exactly the heart surgeon we need. People are fed up. They're fed up with being ignored, fed up with being taxed into oblivion, and fed up with politicians who think they're indispensable. Well, spoiler alert, you're not. Nobody is. And that brings me to my final point. If this 10-year fantasy of yours comes true, and Britain keeps sliding into the abyss, don't be surprised if the queues at Dover start looking like the last chopper out of Saigon. People are already leaving. Businesses, talent, hope. And if you keep this up, you'll be governing a ghost town. So, like I said, last one out, turn off the lights, and maybe leave a note for Keir saying, "Good luck, mate, you're going to need it." Personally, I think he'll only last one term because, look at the last year. It's been hell, hasn't it, for the people of Britain. That guy has done absolutely nothing for us whatsoever, apart from his paid interests. So yeah, next election it's either going to be Tories or Reform, in my opinion. So there we go. What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments. I'm Paz49. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, Roger Trout.